welcome back to our channel, everyone. It is M of CM Get Fit. Yes, it is just M. I am solo today without my beautiful wife. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of insight of how I lost 100 pounds. So to get into it, we have to first talk about how I just got as big as I was, which was 473 pounds. And you know what's crazy? I don't really hate that I was that weight, because if anyone that knows me knows that I've never been a shy person. I've never been someone who felt like their weight was gonna hold them back. But we'll get into that. I love saying it. I love saying that I was 473 pounds just to remind myself how big I was and how far I've come, but also to remind myself that I still have 50 to 60 pounds to go, big guy. Let's move. The thing is, when I was that size, I never shied away from being big. And I think that played a lot into me continuing my weight gain on my way up there. Obviously, I wasn't always 473 pounds, and it took some work to get there. A lot of work, fun work, but work nonetheless. So being that big, you know, like I said, it takes time to kind of get there. It takes work to get there. And I developed a lot of bad habits kind of after I finished school, after college. I played football throughout college, throughout really my entire childhood. And I was always around larger people, and we always ate food that, well, football players would tend to eat. Now, the thing is about that, you're playing football, you're playing a sport, you're playing any type of athletic, you are consistently moving, you are always doing something, you are always practicing, you're always somewhere. And that changes the moment you step away from that sport. There's really no problem for you to sit and eat up an entire pizza or 2 or 3 hamburgers in one sitting when you are gonna flip around and go to practice and burn about 3,000 or 4,000 calories in the beaming heat. It weighs itself out. So you may still be big, but you're not going to continue to just gain weight, because the amount of calories and the amount of energy you're outputting is kind of equating to what you're putting in your body. So once you stop putting all that energy out, you're still taking that energy in, and your body's just enjoying all of that good stuff. So eating just ridiculous proportions and continuing to not really work out or not really move is really what caused me to kind of gain that weight. Another big factor of my weight gain was just being stressed out from being at work, and you come home and you just want to just relax, you want to just eat. And I have my beautiful wife there with me. There's no reason why we shouldn't just sit up, Netflix and chill all day, baby. But you got to realize that's not going to get you anywhere that's positive. You know, like, that's great for you guys to be able to spend time together, but you can spend time together doing other things. And we learned that later on. But stress from work and just stress from life was such a factor in that. Not only did it cause me to eat more or want to eat more, but it also added to the weight gain in itself. Couldn't sleep. You're not, you know, obviously you're not eating what you're supposed to be eating. If you're not eating right, you're not drinking right, which means you're not drinking any type of water. You're not likely active, you know, because, well, your body is going to respond to the way you're eating and drinking, so you're not gonna have very much energy. It's a trickle-down effect, and stress generally is that first domino that knocks all those other ones down. That mastering and understanding your stress and understanding how you can relieve it is a big factor when it comes to losing weight and when it comes to being consistent with your fitness and your eating. We have to understand and learn how to manage stress in better ways. You can't always look to food, because you create that terrible relationship. Now you start to have that dependency that only food can solve. And once you have that dependency, it now creates an addiction. Now you're going down a path that only leads to bad things when it comes to your health. You want to just understand that stress can be relieved outside of food. Don't always look to food to be the thing that just makes you feel so much better. If it is the case, try some new things. The reason why you learned that food was it because you tried it after you had a bad event. Try doing something else. Go for a walk. Just go outside and just take a couple deep breaths. You never know. Just having some fresh air sometimes can be enough to just let you just relax your mind and think about something different, as opposed to being worried about, now I need to stress eat. So ultimately, what really made me just decide to start this journey at all was I just got tired of just being big. And it wasn't like, I didn't like myself or I was sad with my body or anything. It's just like I just knew better. Like I knew that this wasn't healthy for me. So I just needed to go ahead and make those changes. I was the reason that I wasn't being as healthy as I could be. I was the reason that I was possibly shortening my own future. I was the reason that I was putting limitations on what I could achieve when I set my mind to something. I just knew that there wasn't any real reason for me to be that size anymore. Like, I wasn't playing football anymore. I wasn't doing the things that required me to be that big anymore. So it's not healthy. It's time to move towards something more progressive and something that you know is going to be better for not only your future, but the future of your wife and your family. So let's take a look at some of the changes that I made in order for me to start making my weight go the other way. I'll say when I started out at 473 pounds, what got me down probably from 473 to probably 450 was simply going from drinking 3 and 4 Powerades a day. And I mean the 32-ounce big guys. I don't mean the little 20-ounce. And when I say little, mind you, my hands are big. I'm not sure if you can. My hands are big. Just trust me, my hands are big. I mean the actual 32-ounce Powerades. We're drinking 3, 4 of these a day. My wife may drink 1 or 2, but I'm definitely drinking 3 or 4, and in all likelihood, I'm probably going to finish her drink as well. So by me drinking 4 Powerades, and this is just me eating 4 times in that day, I had about 13 servings of Powerade, give or take, depending on how many I've drank that day. And how much running was I doing at that point in time? How much power did I need? It wasn't much. There's no reason for me to have 13 servings of Powerade in my day, not including the food. We go from drinking 4 Powerades a day to drinking 2 Powerades a day, and the other ones you drink Powerade Zeros. Now, 0-calorie drinks. 0-calorie drinks, I will say honestly, it doesn't taste like a sugared drink because it's not a sugared drink. But you have to understand what you're trying to do. We can't keep looking for the exact same thing if we're trying to make changes. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us to consistently look for a new us, but expect to be able to do the same exact things. So by dropping those 2 Powerades, that dropped me by 5 servings of Powerade in a day. So once you transition from Powerade to Powerade Zero or juice to 0-calorie juice, start moving away from the 0-calorie stuff so much and start looking to sub in water or things that are naturally flavored, like water with fruit or things of that nature. Now, again, you don't have to completely get rid of your juice. Have your 1 Powerade for me for that day, but save that Powerade for dinner. There's no reason that you can't have your enjoyable stuff and your enjoyable food, but you don't have to have these things every day, all day long. Not only does your body get tired of it, and your mouth get tired of it, and you just get tired of it, but you should just be tired of having that all the time. So transitioning from the Powerade or the juice to the 0-calorie, from the 0-calorie to mainly water, and you can still have your drinks just interspersely thrown out, it works. So boom, you've made the change from juice to water, and now you are starting to see the weight start to slowly drift away. Your next step is starting to attack the food. Notice I have not talked about fitness. You ain't had to move yet. So, quick note, if you weren't aware, you cannot continue eating as much food as you want and wonder why you haven't been losing weight. You're not going to lose weight continuing to eat exactly as you are, so you have to make some changes. Now, understand something, as I said earlier, food can become an addiction, and not just all foods, certain types of foods for certain types of people, we rely on them, understandably. Okay, fine. You can have those foods, but the other ones that you don't need, the other ones that you don't rely on, find ways to alternate, find ways to sub those out and move in other things that are better for you or things that are going to be better for your body. You don't want to continually just eat the bad things, eat the things that aren't good for you, and you know they aren't. So one of the changes that I personally made was switching from eating so many carbs and feeling that everything had to be fried. For the longest time, I wouldn't eat a salad if you put 10 pieces of bacon. Well, I don't know. But I wouldn't eat a salad. Salad was never something that I was going to try. But why? Like, maybe I just hadn't tried the right salad. And on top of that, there are foods that I ate. Like, I love burgers, I love pizza, I love all the typical guy foods, football guy foods. There were plenty of things that I could sub in and sub out of my diet that would be beneficial for me. And one of the main things I tried to sub out was pizza. Pizza was a big reason why we gained so much weight, because we would order a pizza each and eat this and wonder why, or hate the fact that we're gaining so much weight. Well, of course you are, because you're eating a meal for an entire family. And making that change from just eating so much of it and not overeating was the biggest thing. As we know, gaining weight means you tend to eat more than you are outputting, right? That just simply means you need to stop eating so much if you're not going to be putting anything out. Now, you tend to be overweight, you tend to overeat because, again, we rely on those foods to bring happiness in all types of different ways. And you can have those foods, but have them in moderation. Don't overeat. Understand how to say no to the rest of your food. Don't let your food and your desire to eat these things control what your future will hold for you. You're going to be able to stop yourself from doing these things if you really put your mind to it and honestly make an effort. There were so many different foods that I can recall that I just was not trying to eat because I just didn't like the taste. And you have to start asking yourself, how important is taste to you? Granted, yes, food should always taste delicious, and it can. You can make food that is healthy and tastes good. Check out the recipes on the page. Trust me, you can make food that's healthy and tastes good. But at the same time, there is nothing quite like your favorites, And I'm not telling you to remove your favorites. I'm saying don't have first, second, third, fourth, and fifths of your. There's no reason for you to have that much of one item that you like. Eat it, enjoy it, but have a plate. Have one serving of it and leave it at that. Not only is that going to be helpful for my body, but it also make my foods that I like taste that much better because now I haven't had them in a while. So if you were to give even more time or even more space in between these things and try eating healthier options in between, not only will it make your other foods taste better when you finally taste them, not only will it make your body happy, but obviously you are going to lose weight as well because now you've made another change. When you are a bigger person, such as myself when I was 473 pounds, little changes are huge to your body. The smallest change will make the biggest impact. Now, that comes with, at a certain point, that's going to come to a stop, and that's where the fitness actually gets put into it. But changing from drinking pure sugar to drinking mainly water, changing from eating everything that you had to have, all of your favorites all the time, to eating your favorites every so often and enjoying life still, these changes were enough for me to drop 70 pounds. 70 pounds was lost from just switching small things about my diet and still eating and still being the lovable big guy that I always have been. Now we have come to the fun part. And at this point, this is where I'm at 400 pounds. I have hit 400. We have honestly made so many different changes, and for whatever reason, the weight is starting to stagnate and can't really figure out why. Well, again, if we go back to what I said earlier, you're still only bringing in and putting out the same amount. Granted, yes, I'm eating a lot less of the terrible foods that I was eating, but again, I'm not outputting anything. So my body is just staying right where it is, level. Now it's time to start your output. Now again, something to understand is at that point I was 400 pounds. And so, work out. There's no reason that you can't get up and move at 400 pounds. There's no reason whatsoever. are telling yourself that you can't do it. And by telling yourself that you can't do it, you're allowing yourself to believe that. It's no different than making the other two changes. You just have to just want to do it and start small. And just like you did with the Powerades, like I did for me, just like I did with the pizza. You can't jump into it and just start sprinting. No, just start by just getting up. Get off of the couch more often. Get out of your room, out of the house more often. And for your own health, just go get more fresh air. There's no reason why you can't just stand up more in the house while you're watching TV. These are super, super small things that will just allow your body to respond better when you do become more active. You got to think, if you haven't been active, I was someone who played football and I stopped for years, 7, 8 years, just stopped. I understood what it meant to be active. Some people don't. Some people have never had that experience. And I can understand that. So your body also doesn't understand it. It's never had that experience. Or it hasn't had it in a long time, just like mine hadn't. You got to start slow. You stand up, your body, you're heavy. Your joints, your ankles, your knees, they have to get used to these things, but you have to get them used to it. You can't use your weight and it being uncomfortable or it being kind of a little painful at times as an excuse for you to continue to gain weight or to not start going toward the goals that you're trying to achieve. You are your own worst enemy when it comes to your own goals. There's nothing that you cannot achieve, and your weight will never be a real reason that you can't achieve your goals. This is coming from someone, as again, who was 473 pounds. If I can do it, if I can get up and jump rope and run and walk and do squats and squat jumps and all these things with my bad knees from football and my 400-pound body, then there is no reason that anyone else can't. I had every reason to continue to gain weight. We went into quarantine. Just like everyone else, you're stuck in the house. All you really can do is watch TV and eat. But instead, we decided to take that time and focus on the things that were stopping us from reaching the goals we wanted to. And not just the goals pertaining to our bodies or to our health, but just the goals as a team, as a unit. We wanted to be better and wanted to just get better. And that was one of the main things we had to do. Fixing our health and our wellness, not only just fix, how healthy we are, but it also created this level of consistency that my wife and I can hold each other accountable to, and then we hold ourselves accountable to. We can be consistent with things now. It's not uncommon for us to say whatever we're gonna say is what we're gonna do. And we will end up doing it because we've set out on this goal and on this path, and it's been rocky, it's been bumpy, it took time, but we're getting there. We're not there yet, and we're making sure to show you guys as we're on our way to let you guys see how the journey has been going, what's been going on, and how things are progressing. Because there's no reason that anyone else can't start this same exact journey. You just have to want it. So this is pretty much how I lost 100 pounds, and that's the first 100. Now, the next 50, 70 pounds, this is where things got a little more intense, and we'll get into that. And I'll show you all types of workouts that I've done. You'll see the foods that we eat throughout our videos, and we'll give you guys all the tips and everything that we have used, all the tools and things that we found useful during our weight loss journey. You'll get to see them, you'll get to know them. As long as you're following us, you'll see it all. Let us know down in the comments below things you guys may want to know, things you guys are wondering, or questions you may have about our journey or about the things that we have done to lose so much weight. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel so you can catch all of these videos. And until next time, I'm out, fam.